The Ford Edsel, I mean, just saying the name, it immediately brings up this image of, well, a legendary failure, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
Our source today, this article from Cognitive Market Research, is called Ford Edsel, the most expensive flop in automotive history. Pretty direct.
Doesn't mince words, no. Calls it the most expensive flop right there.
Right. And for you, our listener, maybe you've managed big projects, maybe you've seen things go sideways. The sheer scale of this automotive miss is just, well, it's fascinating.
Definitely. How does a giant like Ford, with all those resources, get something so spectacularly wrong?
Exactly. So that's what we're digging into today. This is our deep dive.
Yeah, we've gone through this analysis. It's from early 2025, and we're pulling out the key things that really led to the Edsel just crashing and burning.
Think of it like a master class in what not to do, maybe.
Or at least a really important case study. We'll look at the design, the marketing, the economic situation, how it all just collided.
Okay. So our mission today, dissect this whole Edsel saga using the research and pull out the insights that matter, things maybe you can apply.
Right. So let's start with the car itself, the design. That seems like the logical place.
Okay, let's unpack that. The article is pretty clear. The design was a huge problem, a major stumbling block. And you can't talk Edsel without talking about, well, that grille.
The horse collar, yeah. That vertical oval thing.
The article says it was widely ridiculed for its odd appearance, found unattractive and off-putting by a lot of people. You can almost picture it, can't you? This big reveal and then that face.
It's wild how one feature can become such a focal point, isn't it? And it wasn't just odd, it was, well, out of step. Most cars then had these wider horizontal grills. The Edsels just felt jarring.
So it wasn't just like a matter of taste.
Yeah.
It actively went against the prevailing aesthetic.
Exactly. It lacked that sleekness people were starting to really go for. It's a huge lesson, you know? Understand the broader design trends, not just what you think looks different.
That's a really good point. And the article says the rest of the car didn't exactly help either. The overall body style, described as awkward, the size, the proportions.
Yeah, it made it hard to classify in a clear segment. That's what the research points out.
So was it a mid-size? Was it trying to be luxury? People weren't sure.
Right. Ford wanted it to sit between the standard Ford models and the more upscale Lincoln line.
Okay.
But it wasn't different enough from either, really, so buyers were kind of left scratching their heads like, what's the value here compared to what I already know?
If you can't clearly say what it is, makes it tough to sell.
Very tough, especially a big purchase like a car.
And then there were the features, the ones that were supposed to be the big draw.
Oh, yeah, the futuristic stuff.
The automatic speed control, the teletouch push-button transmission. Sounds cool on paper.
Uh-huh. But the article notes they were unreliable and prone to malfunction.
Ouch. That's not ideal. Like getting the latest gadget and it just keeps freezing on you.
Yeah. Exactly. Innovation is great, but if it doesn't work reliably, it just becomes frustrating. It damages the whole perception. Those early adopters who got glitchy Edsels probably weren't singing its praises.
So you've got this polarizing look on the outside and potentially frustrating tech on the inside. Not a winning combo.
Not at all. And that negative vibe around the design, it just got amplified by the marketing.
Oh, right. The marketing. That was something else. The article mentions an unprecedented amount spent on ads.
Huge hype. Enormous hype, the source calls it. They were promising groundbreaking features, painting this picture of a total game changer.
Which, sets the bar incredibly high.
Way too high, as it turned out. This is a key takeaway, I think. Creating expectations you can't meet is dangerous. The research says the Edsel just didn't live up to the lofty promises.
So people were expecting revolutionary, and they got the Edsel. Big letdown.
Huge disconnect. Led to massive disappointment. It's that classic lesson. Make sure your marketing actually matches what you're selling.
It's like promising a 5-star meal and serving up, I don't know, lukewarm leftovers.
Something like that, yeah. And the timing. Couldn't have been much worse, could it?
No. The article points out this is the late 50s, and people were starting to get interested in smaller cars, compacts, better fuel efficiency.
Right. Volkswagen Beetles, cars like that were gaining traction.
And suddenly the Edsel, with its large size and high price tag, just looked out of touch. Less appealing.
It really highlights how crucial it is to read the room, understand the market context, where consumer tastes are heading. The Edsel was swimming against the current.
Yeah, it wasn't just the car itself, it was the whole environment shifting.
Exactly. It's this mix of internal issues, design, reliability, and these external market forces pushing against it. A real headwind.
And all that initial hype you mentioned, the crazy marketing spend.
Yeah, it actually seemed to backfire, didn't it?
It did. Because expectations were so stratospheric, people were maybe more critical when it didn't deliver. The article talks about a backlash.
It became a joke. Easy target for ridicule.
And the negative press just kept piling up, made it almost impossible to recover.
Yeah, a snowball effect. So, okay, visually challenging, didn't meet the hype, launching into a market looking for something else entirely. But there was another layer too, right? The economy.
Absolutely. Can't ignore the economic climate. The article makes a point about this. Early 50s were good times, generally prosperous.
Right. Post-war boom.
But by 57, when the Edsel actually launched, the economy was beginning to slow down. A recession was starting.
And what happens when the economy slows? People get cautious, especially with big ticket items like cars.
Makes total sense. Budgets tighten up. Suddenly, this large, expensive, unproven car with a weird grille. Maybe not the top of the shopping list.
Probably not. And like we said, this slowdown happened right as people were getting interested in those smaller, more fuel-efficient cars, just amplified all the Edsel's weaknesses.
Double whammy.
And the research adds another piece, market positioning. We touched on it, how it was meant to fit between Ford and Lincoln.
Yeah, bridge the gap.
But it ended up being too close to existing models, even from competitors. It caused confusion in the marketplace, didn't have a clear identity or a unique selling proposition that really grabbed a specific group of buyers.
So it wasn't just fighting against other Fords, but against established Chevys, Buicks, Dodges, without a clear reason why someone should pick the Edsel.
Precisely. It lacked that strong pull.
Wow. So it really is, like you said, almost a perfect storm. Questionable design, over-the-top marketing, bad economic timing, shifting tastes, and fuzzy positioning.
Yeah, when you lay it all out, it's pretty dramatic.
Given all that, surely Ford and the whole industry learned some pretty major lessons from this expensive experiment.
Oh, absolutely. The article pulls out some really critical takeaways, stuff that's relevant way beyond just cars.
Okay, like what?
First, and maybe most obvious, understanding market demand. You have to know what people actually want. Ford poured money in, but the research says they fundamentally misread consumer preferences. Size, price, that design.
So, rule 1, do your homework. Proper research. Understand your audience. Don't guess.
Non-negotiable. You can't just build something in a bubble and expect people to want it.
Right. Okay, what else?
Second big lesson, effective communication and marketing. But communication that's, honest, grounded in reality.
Don't write checks the product can't cap.
Exactly. Don't create a fantasy. The Edsel is like exhibit A for the dangers of overhyping. It just kills trust when the reality falls short.
Leads to that backlash we talked about. Okay, so know your market, be honest in your marketing. What's the third main lesson?
Product differentiation. But, and this is key, differentiation that offers tangible benefits. Real value, not just being different for difference's sake.
So the Edsel's unique look, the push buttons. The article suggests they came across as more gimmicky than genuinely practical or desirable.
That's the gist, yeah. Standing out is fine, but you need to stand out for a reason that benefits the customer. A compelling reason to choose you, more than just, well, it looks different.
It really is a sobering story when you piece it all together. And the cost. The sheer financial hit.
Oh, immense. The article includes this fast fact. Ford's loss on the Edsel project, around $350 million.
$350 million. In late 1950s money. That's staggering.
And just to put that in today's terms, the article estimates that's equivalent to roughly $3 billion now.
Wow. $3 billion.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Yeah. That number really hammers home the stakes involved when you get that fundamental disconnect between your product and the market.
Okay, so let's recap for our listener. The big takeaways from this deep dive into the Edsel flop seem pretty clear. 1, know your market deeply. 2, keep your marketing real, aligned with the product, no overhyping. 3, make sure your product offers real, tangible value and differentiation, not just novelty.
Pretty much sums it up. It's all about understanding that audience and actually meeting a genuine need or desire.
Yeah, and the Edsel story, it really goes beyond just cars, doesn't it? These are fundamental principles. If you're launching anything new, any venture, these lessons apply.
Absolutely. It's a powerful case study. Understanding where Ford went wrong here gives you, valuable perspective on navigating innovation, market risks, all that stuff.
Definitely. It really makes you think, though. Ford threw everything at this. Huge teams, massive budget, all their expertise. Given that scale, what seemingly smaller missteps, maybe overlooked decisions along the way, do you think had the biggest ripple effects, the things that really sealed its fate? And maybe more importantly, how can we use that kind of granular thinking when we're evaluating new ideas or adventures today?
Hmm. That's a great question to chew on. What were those smaller hinges that swung the biggest doors?
Yeah. Something to ponder long after this deep dive wraps up.